Nation, good morning. We got some news that I think is going to rub some people the wrong way. Let's say it like that. Now, today we're going to talk about the Pete Carroll presser. I want to talk about the apology or statement, whatever the hell you want to call it, in terms of what Pete Carroll, this organization, did with Geno Smith. I also will give you guys an injury update on what the hell happened to me yesterday on this show. But before we get into everything, I mean this when I say this, everybody that reached out to me yesterday, huge shout out to all of y'all. You guys are the reason why I wake up every single day and love covering the Las Vegas Raiders. That I promise you that. And we're a beautiful family here. I don't take that lightly. And if there's one thing that I think you got to appreciate, especially, this time of the year during the holidays, it's friends, family, people having your back. So shout out to all the real ones out there. I can't tell you again how much I greatly appreciate it. So let's talk about the Pete Carroll presser. And I'm not allowed to get all crazy, doctor's orders. So we're going to try to keep it cool, calm, and collected this week on the Raiders report. And essentially, I was very disappointed in the press conference yesterday. Obviously, you guys probably saw the video that I put out there on social media. And my biggest question to that Pete Carroll presser yesterday was, why were there no Geno Smith questions, right? And again, I get certain guys, reporters, maybe they're afraid to ask certain questions. Maybe they're not allowed to ask certain questions. So I made it my job yesterday, even in a day that I spent probably a good 4 to 5 hours in a hospital bed. Again, I am totally okay. I want to make that very, very clear. But I had some time, and I was reaching out to a lot of people. And, I had actually quite a few people reach out to me. And the news that I think is going to upset some people is I had a few people tell me that not only were Raiders reporters yesterday at that press conference not allowed to ask Geno questions, I was also told by one person in particular that the questions were screened beforehand. I actually really hope that it's not true, and I really hope that what I'm being told is maybe a little bit of fabricated. I'm just at such a loss for words, and I hate being that type of person because I predicate myself on being able to always come up with words. And yet, the Pete Carroll Raiders, there's no words that can be said because the questions, the answers, it's just a lot of words. And, I feel like I'm looking at alphabet soup when I was a kid. It's just a bunch of letters scrambled together and it doesn't mean anything. And we're right back to the Josh McDaniels press conference days where these press conferences, let's be honest with ourselves, they don't mean anything, right? Like, how can Pete Carroll say that he doesn't think that we're going to have to fire anybody else? And I get it. He probably doesn't think that they're going to have to fire anybody else. But, again, to point the finger at Tom McMahon and Chip Kelly, deservingly so, but not point the finger at Geno Smith and your son and the offensive line coach, Brendan Carroll, who, again, also controls the running game. It doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense if you haven't watched this team. But if you honestly have followed the Pete Carroll Raiders since the jump, it makes all the sense in the world. If you're a Pete Carroll guy like Geno Smith, I put it on the thumbnail for a reason, we got a baby on board. And the way that Pete Carroll protects his guys, Geno Smith in particular, is like a baby on board. Yesterday I picked up my buddy Joe, his wife Steph, and their new baby girl. Her name is Olivia. It's the first time I've actually driven a car with a infant in the car, and I was going 5 underneath the speed limit. Why? Because I'll be honest with you, if I was a dad, I would probably want the exact same thing. Now, I'll be honest, it was like 12 o'clock at night. My buddy's like, dude, we got to get home. I'm freaking tired. But, that's how I feel right now. Pete Carroll in this organization is protecting their guys, and if you're not part of that group, they'll kick you to the curb. I actually would love for people from the Christian Wilkins, people who represent Wilkins, to reach out to me because you look at how the whole Wilkins situation went down. Believe me, I know it's a weird story, but at this point, I'm wondering if there's something else going on. You look at the whole JPJ situation. You look at how they've been treating Caleb Rogers here lately. You look at how, Jermaine Pratt situation. Jermaine Pratt looks like one of the best linebackers, and the fact that they weren't using him correct. I could go on tangents of over and over and over again this season of, why are certain guys playing and other guys aren't? It's because Pete Carroll's got guys and the front office has their guys, and there's clear disconnect there. And I know that they're trying to protect Geno Smith, and it's extremely frustrating because the statement that was released, one of the sources that I talked to yesterday told me that The Raiders thought the statement that they released after the game, and if you didn't see the statement, nobody did. It's because they tried to make sure that nobody would see it. Because if I was an organization that actually wanted to put out a statement and actually put out an apology, I would have posted it on social media. I would have put it out there in the universe, just like when you release a statement about how you wish Chip Kelly nothing but the best, just like how you release a statement that you wish Tom McMahon nothing but the best, just like when you release a statement that Christian Wilkins has been released because you're looking for commitment to excellence. Those are statements. Those are apologies. Those are public things. You didn't put anything out because you didn't want people to hear the backfire and because you are, again, protecting Geno Smith. And the reason why Geno Smith is acting the way that he does is because he knows Daddy Pete is going to take care of him and they're going to powder his butt. And it's sad, but we got a $66 million baby on board. And I mean it, Geno. I've never disliked the Raiders quarterback more. I don't think you're going to watch this show, and I hope that somebody that knows Geno Smith sends him my program because I want him to know how much we dislike him as a human being because I do. I've never met somebody I think is so naive to what is going on with themselves, and I get it. He's frustrated with this play. The offensive line stinks. There's a lot of issues, but to take it out on other people, I'm actually really starting to see why Geno Smith got popped a few years ago back with the Jets. But here was the statement, okay, that the Raiders apparently, gave to a few of the Raiders beat reporters, and it's, quote, "The Raiders are aware of an obscene gesture made by Geno Smith toward fans following Sunday's game at Allegiant Stadium. We are disappointed in his actions and have discussed the incident with Geno. We hold the Raider Nation, in the highest regard and take this matter seriously." I'll tell you this right now. Anybody that wrote that right there doesn't know anything about Raider Nation. The Raider Nation? Do you also say black and silver? It's like, to me, that quote right there is, again, it's everything wrong with the Pete Carroll Raiders. It's you're not making players act like adults. Like, just make Geno Smith act like an adult, right? Like, you're treating him like a bit like a baby. And to me, the only way that statement is going to be proven true is if you bench him for a game, punish him, or I think you should suspend him. And when you look at conduct detrimental to the league, I saw some dude out there from Barstool, I actually forget his name already, I tweeted back at him, was calling us Raider fans soft because we wanted, to void the contracts. If me being soft is wanting the Raiders to void a contract after a player has spit in our face as a fan base, after obscene gestures, and again, this is not the first, it's not even the second. I mean, it's multiple times every week, and I get it. Not everybody's going to follow the Raiders, and they're a hard team to follow, but I'll say this right now. If a guy spits in my face, if a guy throws up a middle finger, and most importantly, I actually think I got thick skin. I'm the type of person where you can do and say things to me like I actually would rather Geno Smith say it to me. Say it to me. But when you block me, lame. It is lame. But like when you yell at my friends, yell at my family, do things to people that I care about, and I care about Raider Nation. That rubs me the wrong way, way more than if Geno Smith and I were able to have a conversation face to face. So my point is this. The Pete Carroll, the statement, whatever it has, y'all can take that statement and shove it up your ass because that's where it deserves to go. It's a shit statement. It's a bullshit statement. You know it. I know it. We all know it. It's a bullshit statement. If that's going to be your statement for Geno Smith and that gesture, put it out on social media then. You're hiding it, and I'm just so sick and tired of this organization every day. It started out like where it was like every week. It's every day. Every single day, the Pete Carroll Raiders are run like mommy and daddy are going to take care of certain players, and they're just going to kick everybody else to the side. It's a disgrace. And I hope Mark Davis sees this video because, Mark, there's no way that Al would stand for it. And I can't even believe as an owner of an organization that you would stand for it. I'm sad. I am very, very, very sad right now for you, Mark Davis, because I know you're in a difficult situation, but man to man, fan to fan, Raider to Raider, if Geno Smith is not suspended or benched, then I mean it when I say it. I am totally done with Pete Carroll. I'm already basically done with Pete Carroll as it is. I have been saying step down, Pete. If Geno Smith plays this week, I'm done with Pete Carroll. Fire his ass. And I'm going to give him a shot. I don't think anything is going to change. I don't think any of us think it's going to change. Because, again, Pete Carroll cares more about Geno Smith. He cares more about his guys than the Raiders. And that's everything wrong with this Pete Carroll regime. And quite frankly, I'm going to put out a video tomorrow because it's the holiday week. I'm trying to get all my content together, and the video I put out tomorrow is, I think, going to make a lot of Raiders fans happy. And I hope that a lot of people see that video tomorrow. Coming up here next, something a beat reporter said, and I'm going to dive into it here in a little bit, that's really aggravating to me. And I am going to go into a little bit more in depth here on some Geno Smith stuff that, I've been hearing, I've been talking about, that's just out there in the stratosphere. I'll also give you guys my injury update and tell you what the hell happened to me yesterday. I'll tell you this right now, it's going to unlock a new fear. If you're a man out there, it's going to unlock a new fear. I guarantee you that. Today's show, though, sponsored by Panda Sups. Whether you're looking for some nootropics to get you going, they do have this brand new, it's called Half Robot, Half Panda, All Heart, Pando. It's engineered for athletes with razor-sharp focus, explosive energy, and relentless endurance without the crash. Built with transparent dosing, premium actives, Pando keeps you locked in from warm-up to last rep without breaking the bank. So if you go to pandasups.com and if you use code Raiders, you're going to be able to save 25% off. I'll also say this, right? Panda has not given me a Black Friday code yet, but in the years that I have covered the Raiders, they do some crazy, amazing Black Friday deals. And, when you guys use code Raiders, obviously we get credit for it and we get a lot of love. But I'm not saying that I don't want the credit. I want the credit. But real one to real one, I want people that watch this show to get products that they like that can help them be the best version of themselves. Weldinator the other day was talking to me, and he's like, dude, Panda's going to hate me because I've been putting on some LBs. That's what happens when you go to Disney, my guy. If you don't put on LBs going to Disney, I'm going to be more mad at you. But, their Black Friday sales are insane, and I don't need credit for it. I want you guys to go get some awesome supplements to make you better, the most healthiest versions of yourself, and Panda Sups products are amazing. Again, Pando, pre-workout if you need that little extra boost. They got some unbelievable protein as well, though the 4 flavors for Pando are Electric Colada, Berry Lime Reactor, Sour Robo Belts, and Peach Gear Rings. That sounds unbelievable. I would absolutely love to crush one of those right now. So, coming up next here, okay? Coming up here next is something that a Raiders beat reporter said, and, I'll be honest, I reached out to quite a few people yesterday, and, a lot of people, and I don't blame certain probably beat reporters, are probably mad at me based on some of the things that I said, because I was very disappointed, I think is the best way to put it. If Pete Carroll's going to treat Geno Smith like a baby on board, then I'm going to use the number one word that I think my dad used to use when I was a kid. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Problem is, though, I am kind of mad. I'm not going to lie to y'all, but I'm definitely disappointed because how are no Geno questions asked? And even if you're screened, even if you're not allowed to ask them, somebody nut up here. Somebody nut up and earn some respect. I think people actually like this show because I'm not afraid to say what I want to say. And I get it. I'm not in the same room with those people, but it's 2025. You don't need to be in the same room with somebody to get your point across. You don't need to be in the same room with somebody to be able to look them dead in the eyes and say, you're doing a shit job, right? Doesn't take a lot to do it. It just takes you being able to, sit up there and do it. And I get it. There's probably certain repercussions that I don't have to face because I'm not in that room. But I'll also say this. I think I get a lot more stories and scoops than a lot of those beat reporters do, and I say whatever the hell I want on this show. Now, sure, maybe that ends up stopping from certain guys, but until it does, I'm going to keep shooting my shot. I'm going to keep telling y'all what I feel because I'm not a beat reporter. I don't want to be a beat reporter. I want to be able to be somebody that can give their 100% authentic opinion at all times. It's what this show's about. I think it's what it being an American's about. I think it's what you should do. If you can't be 100% honest with your friends and people that watch this program again, what the hell are you doing? So, Vincent Bonsignore put out a tweet, okay? And one of the things that Vincent said there was, again, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I don't know, and I get it. Vinny's probably frustrated because those guys are covering a shit team and, they're probably trying to do their job and they don't feel like that they can do their job to the fullest ability because they're not getting information. It sounds very, very similar to the whole McDaniels and Ziegler regime. But Vincent Bonsignore put out a statement. It was for those who actually paid attention, we asked and we wrote about this last night in terms of the statement or apology, whatever the hell you want to call it. Both of them are bullshit excuses I don't need a thesaurus to know that statement was not an apology. It was a bullshit statement. And then the article, connects you to this apparent apology. Again, I read it earlier on this show, but it just irritated me because I don't understand how you think of behind closed doors is answering that question. Put them on the spot. Turn up the heat a little bit. And, being a head coach in the NFL is a tough job. You're getting paid $16 million, Pete. Guess what? It's an entertainment business. You're getting paid $16 million for entertainment. Yes, football is important, but there's way, way, way more entertainment than football being played right now inside of Allegiant Stadium. I guarantee you that right now. And it's entertainingly hilarious, and that's the saddest part about it. We are the worst football team in the NFL. So with all due respect, and again, Vinny, you and I have messaged many, many times. You and I have covered this team for a long time. I think that you are one of the more respected people in this industry that cover the Raiders. But also at the exact same damn time, I need a guy like Vinny. I need a guy like Hondo. I need somebody that does carry a lot of weight in that room to be able to have the balls, to be able to have the stones to answer the tough questions. And the fact that not a single question was asked about Geno Smith, it's sad, man. It's sad, sad, sad. So I saw a reply to a tweet, to Vinny's tweet, and again, to me, I want to give a shout out to Josh. You guys might know him as Go. I know him as Go on social media. And, his tweet reply, and, Josh, I hope you don't take offense to what I'm about to say. But when Josh Go is thinking more logical than our beat reporters and is thinking maybe the most logical out of anybody that was in that room yesterday, that says everything. And, he's a passionate dude. He gets riled up the same way that I do, but I saw his tweet and he goes, ask why Geno did it. Ask why he alienated fans. Ask why that conduct is allowed. And that one's a big one. Why is Geno Smith allowed to flip off fans and no punishment is to be had, right? Why is that okay? But yet, I don't know, JPJ going up to Ashton Genty telling him that he's going to be the center, that's punishable enough to put him on the bench? It just doesn't make sense, right? It's, again, they're going to pick favorites. They're going to do what they want. Pete yesterday up there talking about leadership and all this, putting Max and Geno in the same conversation. With all due respect, and again, I'm not speaking for Max, I want to be very clear, but do not put Geno Smith and Max Crosby in the same conversation in terms of leadership qualities, right? It's yin and yang. There's not even close. It's not even close. And, and then the other thing was ask why what the fine's going to be and ask what the punishment's going to be. Because there should be punishment. You can't allow a quarterback to do it. And if you agree with that statement, if you want Geno Smith to be punished, I want you to hit that like button, because right now Geno Smith, and I put baby on board for a reason, because Geno Smith has been acting like a baby the moment that he's joined the Raiders, right? Think about the high school football incident. It's why they pay me the big bucks. You're trying to fight with guys on a high school sideline because some guy said something to you. I mean, I get it. You're making a lot of money, Geno, and you are a very good quarterback in the terms of everybody on the planet. Geno Smith is in the NFL. He is unbelievably accomplished. He's going to make probably more money than I could ever even imagine or dream of. But when you flaunt it and you act like that, you're acting like a spoiled little brat. And that's what Geno Smith is right now. He's throwing temper tantrums on the sidelines, and I get it, you're frustrated. But there's difference between being able to be frustrated, right? Like Max Crosby, frustrated. Him and Atlanta Roberts, frustrated. They got into arguments. Good. You're getting your ass kicked. I want to see that frustration. But to, flip off fans again, and he was cursing at fans the entire game. The amount of videos that I got, I'm not going to put them out there on social media because I respect that people send me that type of stuff. And, I saw videos of Geno Smith during that game, cursing out fans, throwing his helmet. And, as a leader, I want my leader in bad situations to try to rally the troops, not throw your helmet, alienate yourself from all your players, and act like a baby back bitch. But that's what Geno is right now. He is a baby back bitch, and Pete Carroll is putting up with it. And you look at the Seahawks fan sign. In the moment, I get, and I love that Max backed him up. I love that Pete backed him up. And I owe an apology to that Seahawks fan because you were right. He is Geno's Jamarcus Russell 2.0. And I think the saddest part about it is Jamarcus Russell doesn't give a flip. Jamarcus didn't watch tape. I know Geno cares. I know Geno wants to succeed. And I know Geno watches tape. And I know he's trying to figure it out. But that's even the more concerning part, right? Like, so you got and these are the first things that are coming off my head. So you got the high school incident, you got the flipping off the Seahawks fan, and then you got, Geno flipping off Raiders fans. Like, if you just keep allowing this type of behavior with no repercussions, with no suspension, with no fine, with no benching, and it's a apology, like, I want Geno Smith to stand up on that podium the next time he takes that podium and give an apology to Raider Nation. And I want him to say, I am sorry, and it's never going to happen again. Instead of blame it on me, backhand this, backhand that. Geno Smith has no respect for Raider Nation. And I think the most frustrated I've ever been covering this team is right now, and I can't even believe I'm saying it, but it's because we got a guy that we're paying all this money to, that our coaching staff backs up over and over and over again, that just literally says F you to Raider Nation on a weekly basis. So if you guys are okay with it, you can be okay with it, but just be okay with me saying, Geno Smith, you can go fuck yourself. Pete Carroll, I hope your ass gets fired. Brennan Carroll, you're a Nepo baby. Nate Carroll, Nepo baby. And, I wish my dad worked in the NFL, because I would love to be a coach in the NFL, because I'll tell you this, apparently it doesn't take a lot to be a coach for the Raiders. Final thing that we're going to talk about here is my injury update. So obviously yesterday I was live on the show and had to leave early. I did go to the hospital. I'm okay. My appendix is fine. Everything's good. I am A-okay. I'm 100% healthy. I got to take it a little bit easy this week. But if there's any doctors out there, you could probably explain it to people a little bit more in depth. Essentially what I had was, it's called like testicular torsion, which is essentially like your balls get tangled. And I felt the pain in my abdomen because it was described to me as like a kink in the hose, right? When you put a kink in the hose, the kink is higher up the hose and the water can't come out. So I was dealing with pain in my abdomen. I actually thought it was a hernia because of the pain I was feeling. And because when I would yell and, exert a lot of energy, there was more blood rushing just through my body and into certain areas. And because that blood was rushing, and when I was screaming in that moment, I felt a pop. And that's basically when the kink, it's kind of raveled a little bit is how I would explain it. Now, luckily, again, I didn't have to go into surgery, because what can happen is your blood supply can get cut off to your testicle. You have to go into surgery. You get I think they told me it was like 4 to 5 hours until, you can get it fixed, or else, just like anything, if you don't have blood supply to a certain area, they got to remove it. So I think it was actually the most hilarious injury that I could have suffered, because I always say, watching the Raiders, Geno Smith, it's like getting kicked in the nuts. I mean, I literally got kicked in the nuts in a different way yesterday. And you're damn right, I am going to blame Geno. I am going to blame the Las Vegas Raiders, because it can happen from overexertion. Typically, it happens when you're, an athlete and you're experiencing, like, if you were to deadlift, your balls kind of shrink a little bit. It could also happen. This is what I found out. For any man out there, I sleep naked. If that's TMI, too bad. I sleep naked, and then it can also happen when you toss and turn in the middle of the night. Your balls can get tangled up. It is a brand new fear unlocked. I can't even believe it. It actually happened to one of my buddies. Shout out to Joe Frank, centenary pitcher. Joe Frankowski, if anybody knows him, he lives in New Jersey. That happened to him when I was in college, and he couldn't pitch, and he was like, yeah, my balls switch sides, which, again, crazy. But I'm okay. I just was told to take it easy. It's actually why I'm filming where I am right now. I'm sitting down on a certain desk that is properly proportioned so my balls can rest easily. If anybody out there, again, Max, I know you hooked me up with the Sax underwear before. I got them on today. I was basically told to wear tighter underwear for the next week. So I'm going to be real. I'm always going to be an emotional person. I'm really trying hard not to today to get really, really fired up like I typically do. And I think you're going to see that from me this week, because, again, I was told to take it easy. But yesterday I had 2 nurses, a male nurse, my wife in a room. I got a bunch of jelly on my balls, and I had an ultrasound on my balls, which was something that I never thought I would ever say out loud. And I don't know if anybody's ever been in a doctor's room, but a doctor's room is a lot like getting out of a pool dick. I got doctor dick. I got getting out of a pool dick. I almost thought my wife was going to look at me and be like, you're embarrassing me right now. And I think any guy knows exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're like, what are you doing to me? You're making me look bad right now. But yeah, I'm okay, and I'll just end this show like this, man. I can't tell y'all how much I appreciate everyone reaching out to me. Text messages, DMs, everything. The amount of medical professionals that randomly reached out to me, because fan saw this, reached out to them, and wanted to, know. Again, dude, like, I love y'all. I don't take this show lightly. There's a reason why I wake up every single day fired up to be able to do this thing, because I'm just like all of y'all. I'm a frustrated Raiders fan that wants to see things succeed, but I'm also just like all of y'all that I love hanging out with my friends. I love being able to communicate with y'all, and you guys are getting me through this tough season, just like I hope that, I'm kind of able to get y'all through it. So you're damn right I'm going to blame Geno, and I'm going to blame Pete Carroll, and I'm not going to – I saw a few fans like, you should send the hospital bill to him. Chat Sports is an awesome company. I think that we are one of the fastest growing companies in the world, and it's because we have an amazing team here. And, shout out to the Chat Sports team for being able to hold it down while I was gone. I'm going to be okay. My team's got me covered here, and we got family here. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to hop on out of here. I got a lot of videos that I got to get done before I get out of here today. Again, I'm not going to be live later on today. It's probably the first time I haven't been live on a Tuesday in an extremely long time. But my best man in my wedding, his name's Joe. Him, his wife, and their daughter are down here for Thanksgiving week, and I'm going to spend time with some family. I think all of Raider Nation should try to spend some time with their family this week. But here's my pledge to you. I got here about at 5:30 in the morning. Chugs is building a whole bunch of shows right now as we speak, and you will get a video every single day on this channel. Why? Because that's my commitment to y'all, but that's also because you guys commit to me every single day. And I love y'all, and I appreciate you. But real talk, man. We got a baby on board. His name's Geno Smith. Pete Carroll is going to continue to protect him. If there's no suspension, if there's no fine, if there's no benching this week, it's time to fire Pete Carroll. Oh, one more thing. I also did tweet out at Mitchell Renz 365. I can put it for you guys down in the description. A tweet that said retweet. And if you want something to happen with Geno, benching, suspension, our voice needs to be heard. And I get a lot of times people are like, Mitch, nobody cares about your opinion. Maybe that's the truth, right? But I do know that I'm loud. And I do know that people watch my show. And I know that we've been able to get change happen on this program. And I think I've been able to prove this year, probably more than any year in the past, that we got good sources here. I got good sources here. And I'm telling you this right now. I think that there are people that will never admit it inside of that organization, players inside that organization that want us to rally to get Pete Carroll the hell out of there. And that's all I'm going to say. If players disagree with that, you guys know where to find me. And even if players speak up, I don't think any will, because I'm pretty damn confident everybody wants Pete Carroll, Gino Smith out of that building. And if Pete Carroll's there, Geno ain't going to be gone. And I think because what Gino Smith is doing right now with the front office and with its fans and with other people that have important decisions that can be made, Geno's going to be the reason why Pete's out the door. And Pete's also going to be the reason why, though, he's out the door, right? When you allow your toddler to throw temper tantrums in Walmart, and unfortunately Allegiant Stadium, the Raiders right now are Walmart, and that's even probably generous. I say that because I saw a kid yesterday throwing an absolute temper tantrum in Walmart. I'm going on a tangent. I should just end this show. Sorry, y'all. Appreciate everyone tuning in. And again, not going to be live on Thanksgiving, not going to be live on Tuesday. The next time I'm going to be live on this program is going to be Sunday when the Raiders play the Chargers. I'm going to be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so 85 minutes before kickoff. All right, Nation, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. You can pretend this is my nut that almost got chopped off. Just click on that bad boy to save it. If you're looking for even more videos from me, click on this video right here, or you click on this bad boy right here. Those are two videos that YouTube recommends since you watched it this far in the program. And again, y'all, I rock with y'all. It's going to get better. We just got to be loud together, and I know we can do it.